Actress Eve Plumb will forever be remembered for repeating her sister Marcia's name over and over again on The Brady Bunch. A lot of people tend to lump all the Brady kids together whenever discussing the show, but Eve Plumb, the actress who played the middle daughter, Jan Brady, will always be in a league of her own. The Southern California native began her career in the early 60s, appearing in commercials at age 7. Soon enough, she landed guest roles on TV shows like The Virginian, The Big Valley, and Family Affair. And in 1969, she was cast in the role that proved to be the definitive one of her acting career. Plumb portrayed Jan Brady until the show was canceled in 1974. After the series ended, she kept working in television. In 1976, she played a teenage prostitute in the made-for-TV film Dawn, Portrait of a Teenage Runaway. 2 years later, she played Elizabeth March in the 1978 NBC miniseries Little Women. While she kept her acting career alive for many years after the Brady Bunch series ended, her role as Jan ultimately proved to be the one that audiences were most familiar with. For the next decade or so, Plumb continued to reprise that role, albeit reluctantly, in various Brady Bunch reunion series and films like The Brady Brides and A Very Brady Christmas. Recently, she's been spotted on the New York stage in the 2010 play Miss Abigail's Guide to Dating, Mating, and Marriage. She followed that role up with appearances in 2 stage productions of Nora Ephron's Same Time Next Year and Love, Loss, and What I Wore. At this point in her career, however, Plumb is no longer focused on keeping her acting career alive. Instead, her professional path has taken her in an entirely different direction. Join Facts Verse as we discuss how Eve Plumb from the Brady Bunch is no longer an actress, not even close. Plumb wanted more. When the Brady Bunch first debuted in 1969, fans of the series fell in love with the giant, tight-knit family they saw on their screens. Eve Plumb's Jan Brady was first depicted on the show as an insecure tween, essentially living in the shadow of her significantly more popular sister, Marcia. Throughout the seasons, however, she grew into a more self-assured and confident teen beauty. While the show was a hit with audiences, it rose to new heights following its cancellation in 1974 when reruns aired in syndication. At that time, Plumb decided not to participate in some of the earlier reprisals in hopes of landing more significant roles. Because of this, she was the only Brady not to reprise her role in 1976's The Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Now at 64, the former child actor has grown her career in a handful of unexpected ways. She's never quite abandoned her Brady Bunch roots, as she wouldn't be where she is today if she hadn't appeared on the program. But if you're under the impression she hasn't done much since her Jan Brady days, you'd be mistaken. Plumb got her start as an actor when she was barely out of preschool. At age 7, neither she nor her family expected she would ever find success in the entertainment industry. Speaking to Closer Weekly in 2018, Plumb said her first taste of fame just sort of came to her unexpectedly not long after a children's agent moved next door to her family. At first, she just appeared in commercials, but it didn't take long for her to land roles in TV shows like The Big Valley and Lassie. From the beginning, Plumb says her family was very involved in her acting career. They gave her the support and guidance she needed to succeed both on set and in terms of the business side of things. Plumb's father ran her career and invested her money in wise ways, while her mother accompanied her to set every day. Unlike other parents of child actors, Plumb says her parents never took a cent from her. In 1969, she was cast as Jan Brady. After the series ended in 1974, Eve continued acting. While appearing in films like Nowhere, Blue Ruin, and I'm Gonna Get You, Sucka, Plumb also made appearances on TV shows like The Love Boat, The Facts of Life, Fudge, and in more recent times, That 70s Show and Blue Bloods. Plumb eventually agreed to reprise her role as Jan Brady in several of the Brady Bunch spin-offs, like The Brady Girls Get Married, The Bradys, and A Very Brady Christmas. But even after all these years, Plumb says it's still hard for her to break free from her Brady role. This is a fairly common plight for former child stars who are most closely associated with the roles they played in their youth. Interestingly, even though The Brady Bunch is the show she's most famous for appearing on, when giving an interview a couple years ago on the radio program Sway in the Morning, Plumb pointed out that The Brady Bunch wasn't regarded as being relevant or interesting by the majority of viewers who watched it during its initial run. Frankly, people didn't find a show about a bunch of kids and their family dog all that relevant during the era of the Vietnam War. Even so, the series ultimately evolved into an unexpected success story. Not only did the Brady Bunch become one of the most iconic and emblematic shows of its era, but the young stars who helped make it happen forever became immortalized in their respective roles. Post-Brady, Eve Plumb worked hard to break free from her typecasting. She desperately wanted to prove she could do things other than simply being a Brady. She also continued to expand her career in several other surprising ways. A penchant for painting. Anyone who watched HGTV's A Very Brady Renovation knows Eve Plumb is gifted with some killer art skills. In the third episode, Plumb helped Leanne and Steve Ford, the brother-sister team who are stars of the series Restored by the Fords, recreate the Brady kitchen and family room inside the actual house used as the backdrop for the Brady family. Even though Eve Plumb continued acting after the Brady Bunch, she eventually discovered she had a hidden passion for painting. In between acting jobs, she needed something to occupy her time and keep her mind sharp. So when she discovered she had a talent for art, painting became one of her most prominent creative outlets. For the last 2 decades, Plumb has been working out of her studio in the New York City apartment she shared with her beloved husband of 27 years, Ken Pace. Her pieces have been featured in numerous galleries around the world. While she's never received any formal artistic training, Plumb has gotten quite skilled at painting still lifes. Some of her most recent works have been of fruits and food. She painted iconic items that depict well-known aspects of life in the Big Apple, such as Fish's Eddy bowls. She recently sold her condo. In 2021, Plumb listed her New York City condo for $1.8 million. The 1,200 square foot abode features 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's located in Lenox Hill and boasts stunning views of the East River and the Manhattan skyline. It has an open floor plan which combines kitchen, living, and dining spaces. The master bedroom comes equipped with heated floors, and the master bathroom has been fitted with a luxurious triple Toto range showerhead. Plumb converted one of the bedrooms into an office space, but it could easily be reverted back to a living space. In 2019, Plumb and Ken Pace sold their Upper West Side co-op for more than $700,000. 3 years before that, Plumb sold her childhood home in Malibu, which she bought when she was 11, for $3.6 million. According to IMDb, Plumb is slated to appear in the upcoming film Baghdad, Florida. It's unclear if she has other projects lined up, but it's nice to see she hasn't completely turned her back on showbiz. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know Eve Plumb was the only Brady not to reprise her role on the Brady Bunch Variety Hour? Let us know in the comments section below.